Dan, good to see you.
Well, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Welcome back. So summer, if you're an educator, it's kind of a slow time, but not for you.
It's not really a slow time for educators, but no, not for me either.
So you've got a busy month, some changes to the Front Porch Concert Series.
Right. Based on working with President Phelan, who is a real strong ideas person, he and I were kicking around the idea after our what do we have? We have Hot Dog Wednesdays at JC for employees and students, and we brought in some entertainment last year. I played with a friend, Dan Palmer, and we just played some jazz songs on the patio while people were having lunch. So President Phelan said, why don't we consider doing that with the Front Porch series called the Back Patio series? So based on the size of the ensembles and the anticipated number of spectators based on past performances, we thought, well, 3 of these will move really nicely. So we have food service involved for Trombone Fest and for River Jazz. In order, River Jazz and the JC Jazzy Jets are splitting the first of the Back Patio series this year on June 13th at 6 p.m. Please come hungry. We will have hot dogs and hamburgers available and sides. They'll be available for purchase, but it's great food. It's a great environment. And we're repeating that with Trombone Fest on Father's Day. We're calling it the Father's Day Cookout, so bring the family hungry and we get to entertain and play our trombones, and hopefully people can also eat there and make a nice evening of it.
So you're doing the Jazz Picnic on the 13th with River Jazz and the Jazzy Jets, and that's
right.
You, and is it students or?
Well, the Jazzy Jets are the jazz band at JC, and it's the best jazz band I've had in a really long time. They're just great, and they all still love to play. We joke that we should just keep playing all summer, so I said, well, I'll book us a few shows if you want, and sure enough, I was actually just texting them from the green room here that we've confirmed we're having 2 more quick rehearsals, make sure we're ready for our 4 or 5 songs. But it gives the concert a lot of variety, because the songs we played at commencement this year with the jazz band that were really well received were like Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars and Think by Aretha Franklin. So it gives a little bit of that toe-tapping, familiar music to what we're doing. And then River Jazz that's local musicians from Albion and Jackson who are just top-notch players playing songs from the 30s and 40s, and Miles Davis, and in that genre, stuff that people would really recognize, but it's a little bit older, so it'll be a really nice combination to put those together.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the River Jazz has a lot of followers, particularly in the Albion area, so that will be a great show. So that's the first 2, and then the third one is the Jackson Community Concert Band, and that's moving inside.
It's going to be inside just because of some construction going on at the college and safety issues with the front porch. So we looked at trying to move it into town, but just didn't have enough time or the resources to do it in town. But we did start the conversation of maybe trying to bring the community concert band downtown, play at CP Federal or play at the Riverwalk or someplace, because we really like to reach out to the community with our groups and let people know there is music going on and it's there for them and they can participate.
And that concert's a little earlier this year.
It moves up to the 18th because there's the Miss Jackson County Crossroads competition, and that happens to be the week later. So we've always had to choose a date when the music hall is available, even when we're on the front porch, just in case it rains, then we can slide inside.
And then it wraps up with the Capital City Brass Band.
And they're on the back porch. They're award-winning. They've won several awards through the NABA competitions. Several Jackson musicians in that group as well. But 30 people, they produce so much sound when you play so nicely in tune. And just great musicians, great people. And I think they're back for like their 9th straight Front Porch series. And they'll be on the back patio. There's no food for that one. That's at 7. But it is on the back patio, so bring a sandwich, right?
All right, so 4 great concerts. First 2 with picnics, and the third inside, and then back on the back patio for the Capital City Brass Band. And you get a complete rundown of the whole season at JC's website or on jtv.tv, our homepage. Jackson Summer, a new section with great things to do this summer in Jackson. All right, band camp. You've got band camp back this year?
Oh yeah, summer band. It's been a busy week of promotions. We did it last year just to kind of see if the interest was there, and it leads to a marching performance in Hanover. And we had so much fun at the camp last year that we've expanded it so we have more of a first, second year musician camp, followed by more experienced musicians up through finishing 8th grade, not quite into high school yet. And I've been out, I think I've done what we call board songs, demonstrations at 7 schools in the last 2 weeks. And what a board song is, well, educational theory based, right? I think you have to know the name of the note, you have to know the fingering, and you have to know where it is on the staff. But if you don't know where it is on the staff, you can still make music with these 2 pieces. So the students love it that they can throw out a song and I can quickly give them the notes and they can play the song within 2 or 3 minutes. The new one that we did yesterday was Fortnite, it was like generic dance or something, and it was in Grass Lake. They were like challenging me to give them that song, and we did it, and it was so much fun just to interact with the kids that way. And we do all the typical band stuff as well. We learn to march, we learn concert band stuff, we focus on etudes and scales. But the board songs are the things that the kids seem to get into most because they can request a song. And
I didn't know Fortnite had a song.
Well, apparently Fortnite has a lot of songs as you get to all of the menus, because we got on YouTube and looked. Their director, Abby Briggs, she's like, oh, I'll call that up for you. It was so funny because we listened to it on the speakers, and that's my only skill as a human. I can hear the notes and tell you what they are. So I was able to teach them their notes, and they had a great time with it. And the whole concept of board songs expanded into a camp when I was at Michigan Center, and luckily it went very well at JC, and we're hoping to continue the tradition this year.
And for that, you register at JC?
jccmi.edu/bandcamp. It's the cheapest camp around, $75 for 2 weeks. And they meet for 3 hours a day, or up to 6 if they'd like to be in both camps. There's no additional charge for the older students to be mentors at the younger camp.
And the culmination of camp is marching in the 4th of July parade in Hanover.
Yes, which they always seem to schedule on Independence Day. So it's a holiday.
Go figure.
But we also have a show at JC on the back patio on July 3rd, which is open to the public, and there will be hot dogs available. The full hot dog menu is available for, I think, $5 for the basket. And the food they give, that they serve on the back patio is very good, and it's a nice bargain too for the hot dog prices.
Speaking of food, Dan, you'll be part of the Food Truck Tuesdays in downtown Jackson this year.
Yes, I feel so fortunate that. See, in my 20s, I was in a lot of original bands and rock bands, and anyway, when I saw this food truck thing going on, I sent some texts and emails and asked if I could audition, and I lucked out that I get to be one of the first musicians to play. But I was in Calling Marvin and Huckleberry Groove, both bands that played a lot in Lansing and Detroit and did some regional tours, and a lot of original music. So I'm playing 2 or 3 songs from each of those bands, plus a lot of things that I wrote. So I haven't done a singer-songwriter showcase in a really long time. So I reworked the songs to play acoustically with some pedals and effects, and I'm pretty excited about it, to tell you the truth.
Neat. So that'll be the first Tuesday in June, and Food Truck Tuesdays are at Horace Blackman Park on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays, June, July, and August. And tonight you got a gig too downtown.
Yeah, I'm playing across the street, Bellanote tonight as part of the Cruise Inn, I believe it's called. And then we're at Portage Lake Parlor tomorrow, and a lot of great performing opportunities in the summer. I feel really fortunate to get to do this.
Great. Well, thanks for coming in. I look forward to seeing you playing music.
I hope so. Thanks.
The music director at Jackson College, Dan Bickle. Well, up next on the show, it's